I am Nathan Husby, and this is my wife Linda. And well, I've been going to Gig Harbor Nazarene for the last over 15 years, I believe now. So, or about 15, about 15.
Awesome.
So, anyway, work over at Puget Sound Naval Shipyard as a marine electrician, along with my wife, which is where I met her. And let me see, got some hobbies. I really like to go shooting. Shotgun is my favorite. However, I'm picking up pistol, pistol shooting. So having lots of fun with that. Linda really likes reading. She's just gotten through, she's still reading the Dune books from the, like the Dune movie. You get the idea. And she's gone through the whole prequels and stuff. She seems to be really enjoying that. We just are married now 4 years. So this is my first, her third technically, but I have accepted her kids as my kids, so, and working really well. We're having to work with our middle daughter, Samantha. She's has some mental issues, and she's just recently just got a job. Dogs are definitely a thing of ours as well. We got a couple of, we got a flat coat retriever, golden retriever mix, and a golden retriever chow chow mix.
My youngest son also has mental illness problems. I think his diagnosis has been schizoaffective disorder, which I think is Samantha's disorder as well. And so, going through this has been a really bumpy ride, and I just can't imagine how people who don't have a relationship with God go through that. That's the only thing that's gotten me through.
I was baptized when I was about 12 years old, way back. I've been brought up in the Nazarene church. You could pretty much say my first Sunday was probably when I was a week old. I was born in Alaska. And my mother made sure I was part of the church whole life. Shortly after I was born, my bio father and my mother were divorced, but my mom met a really good guy. He's been my dad ever since I was about 2.5, 3 years old. Been an awesome big father figure. He had 4 kids of his own from his previous marriage, and then me, so I'm the youngest. I consider them my family. Definitely. I think God means for us to struggle in life. Even though it's tough, tougher for some more than others, unfortunately.
I think struggles are the only thing that keeps me in line.
I make you struggle enough.
No, Nathan makes life much better.
Oh.
And Nathan is proof that God loves me. Oh, well, my parents didn't go to church. My brother brought me to a Lutheran church. And being that my parents didn't go to church, I wasn't considered a member. So the last year of confirmation, they forgot to notify me, so I missed on their confirmation. So I ended up going through adult confirmation, which was kind of eye-opening, because then I was in a class of adults asking really relevant questions. And then it came to the question of whether I considered my christening as a baby baptism. And the pastor was good with it, so I thought, well, I'm good with it, because, I just always, that was the way I always took things, is you look to the pastor for answers. And then my brother started getting involved with the Churches of Christ, and he took me to a campus advance that was out at Whidbey Island, and my future sister-in-law started talking to me about what the Bible said. And it was like, even though having gone to church for all these years, it was like eye-opening. Oh, I could search the Bible myself to find these answers. I started looking at the answers, and then this gal who had recently just a few campus advances later, there's one gal who had recently been baptized. She just came out of drugs and all that. She started talking to me, and she said, well, I'm really new. I don't really have the answers, but I know somebody who knows her Bible really well, so she led me to her, and she started going through the Bible with me.
Working for another company and had to end up going to do some work in Bremerton. I was working for telephone systems for businesses. Anyway, I ended up driving by my place that I was going to live at in Bremerton, and I just had a feeling like, wow, you're gonna live here someday. And it's kind of like, what? And it's just one of those things where I'm nowhere even close to being here. And like 2-3 years later, I'm living in Bremerton. Number of years down the road, that was back in probably 2000. Number of years later, probably about 10 years or so ago, more, about 10 years ago, I was getting kind of lonely, and I was praying God that I need a girlfriend and a wife. And I prayed earnestly about that, and found Linda at work, and there's a kind of ended up through a mutual friend of ours, kind of got together with her, and it's been a long and tumultuous road, but I am very glad I married her. So I can honestly say God led me to her.
A mutual friend at work had suggested that maybe we can go out for a drink, so we ended up meeting at Burger King. And
since we both don't drink.
Yeah, I do drink. At that time I had a Diet Coke problem. I'm kind of I guess I'm more of a deeper person, and I cut the chase, and so I asked Nathan what was important to him, and we got to sharing with each other, and I kind of fell in love with him then.
In case you don't see me, I'm a guy back in the video booth, putting the overhead words. Actually, I'm probably throwing the video up on the screen at this time. But yeah, I've always been working behind the scenes. My mother, my mom and dad, both strong Nazarenes when I was growing up. They made sure I was in the choirs, in singing, very involved with the church, doing junior quizzing as well as teen quizzing. My dad was always like taking offering, counting money, member of the church board, along with my mother. She was like missionary president. She was playing the piano always for the choirs and stuff. So and her family on her side was very involved in the church. So I've always been involved with the church, always wanted to be involved with the church and see what I can do to serve God, because I believe that is very important. I look at serving others as serving God.